Afternoon, everybody. How are we? Yes, I know it's raining out there, but as long as it's not snowing, that's all that matters, isn't it? You can get about in the rain, and you know what? We're all sort of like cozied in now. The Christmas tree lights are on, and it's just nice, actually, just to have a few minutes, I think, and just relax. I'm at home today, so as you can see, I know there's a little bit of light in the video here, but I'm sure we'll manage. It'll be fine. It's just a bit awkward as to where it is, so let's not worry about it too much. As long as you can see what I'm doing, it's all good, isn't it? Okay, here we go then. My goodness me, tile 95. And you know what, just before we start this one, I want to show you tile number 1. You remember this? Tile number 1, that's what we did, and that's where we started way back in March. And it's just nice, I think, to look back at that and think, my goodness, how far we have actually travelled. It's crazy, isn't it? So, okay, what have I got today then? Obviously my tile. I'm sticking with the cream just because I know that this light isn't perhaps the best, but at least you'll be able to see what I'm doing on that one. And okay, I've got my regular pen, although I've got a 01. Doesn't really matter, it's just that's the first one out of my pencil case. I do have a brush pen, because I'm wanting to add a little bit of more black detail today. I've got my regular pen, then pencil, tortillon. I've got some watercolour pencils with me. So obviously then there's going to be a little bit of water as well. I'm hoping to do a little bit of shading using colour rather than just the black today. And I've got myself a straight edge. If you brought the pencil case the other week, you might have got one of these come in, so you can tangle on this, look. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. But yeah, you can use a tile, you can use a regular, anything that's got a bit of a straight edge. Because I thought today, just to be nice to you grid people out there, we'd do a grid tile. So, okay, let's get going then. I'm going to start, as usual, with my pencil. And I'm going to add a couple of little dots in. And just remember, as you're putting these dots in, just sort of take a deep breath. And, you know, as excited as this time of year is, regardless of whatever is going on, Christmas is still an exciting time. It's just nice to come back to basics, isn't it? Put your dots in and just chill out a little bit. Just take it down. Okay? All right, so I'm going to use my straight edge for this, and I'm just going to draw in those lines. I know this is not the usual, but again, do we ever do usual these days? Yeah. Oh, it's nice to know that your books are arriving. We worked so hard to get them out, because I know Monday was the last day. Anybody that's ordered anything after Monday, then it's not that I'm not going in to pack them, it's just that I can't now book Hermes to collect until the 29th, ready for the 30th. So please bear with, they'll get there. And to be honest, I'd rather it be in my unit, packed ready, than it be in a Hermes warehouse. So don't panic if you've not got it. And that goes for even the Royal Mail ones. It's a case now, I think they're so swamped with post that anybody has ordered from me, I will actually do that after Christmas now. So it'll come, it'll get there. Okay, all right, so I've got my border. Okay, we're doing that sort of a deep breath and relaxing. And what I want to do now is I want to come in, I'm just going to put a mark, sort of splitting the space so it's sort of in the middle. I'm not measuring, we don't do measuring. So it's just in about the middle. Okay, I might actually do it there as well. Look, so I've actually got a little mark with my pencil all the way around. Okay, so then I'm going to come back in with this straight edge. Now, a thing I tend to do, because I mean, I don't know if that's going to match, that's fine. I'm just going to use the edge of that rule there, just on the edge of the tile, and use that to just help me line up that, so I know that it's as straight as it's going to be. Okay, let's turn it around, and I'm going to do the same. Hi Bob, morning. Morning everybody, and afternoon everybody, depending on where you are in the world. My goodness me, did we think we'd be saying that back in March? Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? It's really nice that we've got people from all over joining in and watching. Okay, you can see here that I've split this one, and I've split this one in the same way. Turning my tile, and I'm going to do the same again, splitting here and here. And then again, I think now I can work on that one mark now, because I'm using the edge of my tile just as that bit of a guide. So again, breaking that up, let's just up a bit. There we go. Hi Joe. Oh, it's like the gang's all back together. And you know what? It's sort of, I don't even know what day it is. Is it Wednesday? So it would be the norm, wouldn't it, be to do a Wednesday anyway. And of course, this is the last one we're going to do before Christmas Day. So, all right. So we've got this lovely square sort of grid going on. It's quite large. It's not normally something we do again, but I want to try something different each time if possible. And as before, this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, so to speak, but it's nice to just try new things and see where it leads you, isn't it? Oh, Joe, yeah, we're ready. We've got food in, the heating's on, the dogs have got their food. You know, there's plenty of tea in the house. John's got his coffee. So yeah, it's all good. It's all fine. Okay, are we ready? I'm going to come in with my pen now, and I'm going to start at this side here, the top right. But if you're right-handed, you might want to start top left. It's whatever's more comfortable for you. Remember that, you know, I am left-handed, so sometimes you might have to switch it round a bit, but it's exactly the same pattern that we're going to do regardless. So go what feels comfortable for you. Okay. Oh, it's lovely. It's great seeing all these all these names. I can put names to faces in some senses, but welcome everybody. Okay, are you ready for this then? In with the pen. Okay, so I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm going to come down and out, and back into the point there, a little bit like a part teardrop, I would say. Okay. Yeah, the gallery is really nice, and there's a lot of it, so I wanted to put as many pictures in as I could, because, you know, you've took the time to send them to me, so they obviously mean a lot to you. So yeah, I did go to town on the gallery. There we go. All right, so we've got that lovely little sort of shape coming down there. Oh, it won't be long, Sue. It'll be there. Okay, then I'm coming along now to this next line here, and I'm going to repeat the pattern. So, same again. Now, I don't think they have to be exactly the same or matching, or just sort of work your way around. Notice they're not massively wide, but, you know, they come out a little bit. There we are. Yeah, a little bit wave-like, yeah. Funny enough, I have actually picked blue as my watercolour pencils today, so yeah, it's not gonna stay this way, as they never do they? Okay, and look around. Yeah, nosies. Funny how we all see different things, isn't it? And there's another one. Okay, let's just pull out so you can see where this is going. Okay. And then of course I'm gonna do the same on this one. Remember, no rush. Don't think you've got to get these, you know, in the same time as me. I am doing it a little bit quicker, as you know, because I want to get through it. Oh, I know, Sheila, it was funny, wasn't it? But we all understood it. We all know that music. It was great. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns now. Now, it doesn't matter which way you turn it. I'm going to turn it anti-clockwise, like that. Okay, so I've got this sort of the bump bit here, and this is where I want to work. So see where you're going to go from here. And again, I'm going to start at this point, and I'm going to create that shape again. Okay, and then same again. Alright, so it's exactly the same shape. It's just now that I'm working along that row. Okay, and then here's my next line, and then round and down, and around and down, and around and down. So it's exactly the same shape each time. It's now changing that grid up a little bit, isn't it? So those pencil lines, they're there, but they're not going to stay forever. They're going to sort of vanish eventually. But let's see where this is going. And then the next one. And the next one. Okay, I'm keeping within those sort of squares, those grids that I've formed, and completing the same shape. Oh, Wendy, honestly, I'm not so sure. It's something I like to plan, but I don't sort of start with the tangle. I start with maybe a theme or an idea and a sketch. Okay, so I've turned my tile, and I'm doing the same again. And then once I've got a sketch, maybe I'll try a couple of tangles out, and I'll see what works and what doesn't. And then it forms from there, really. And I do try wherever I can to give you something a little bit different, or if not different, I sort of try and do something in a different way for you, so you can see how they can be changed. But also, it's nice to repeat a pattern, so you sort of consolidate your learning. I mean, that's my teaching coming in there. I just want to make sure that, yeah, we do it, a tangle a few times, so it's sort of, it sinks in and you get the idea of it. So you might notice that this particular pattern might come back in a future tile, but in a slightly different way maybe. Alright, so same here. Again, it's not always the norm, is it, that we do a full page grid, so to speak. It's nice, but actually this would make a really fantastic background. But of course we're going to switch it up a bit. Okay, so then for the last time I'm going to turn it, and you can see here now where that line's got that shape missing, so I'm going to come on in and add that shape. You see how it starts at the point, comes out a little bit, and then goes back in. And again on this one, so you're forced really to sort of create that shape, because you can't go out there. It's sort of coming around and in. Well, they don't look like noses anymore, do they? There we are, round and in. Oh, Sheila. Benji's downstairs. So he's not come up to have a nose, so he's not going to disrupt us today. He's sitting with John watching a film. And all around. There we go. So here we go. Next one. It's created a really lovely shape, hasn't it, this? And although we're using a grid, it's still got that lovely little bit of life about it. It's, coming out. And those little curves. Okay. Alright then, so what I'm going to do now, whilst I've got my pen in my hand, I'm going to come back in with that straight edge, and I'm just now going to draw in that outer border. Okay, just sort of reinforce it. From that dot to that one. There we go, turn it round. And from that one to that one. And once more. So there we go, got a nice sort of straight edge with that pattern in there. Alright, so let's just pick it up a little bit now. Now what I'm going to do here, I'll start with this one so you can see where I'm going. Yeah, oh, and I'm just gonna aura inside that shape. I'm just following the lines from one to the next. So I've got a shape within a shape, so to speak. So here then you can see I'm gonna do the same, and I'm gonna add in that straight edge there. Okay? So whether you go all the way down or whether you go across, or it doesn't really matter. We're gonna create this sort of aura shape within all of those that we've created. There we go. Hi Tammy. Oh, I know, Joe. It's John made it. So the ruler's nice, isn't it? It's obviously we're tangling on it, but I think Leslie's done hers. Just haven't got round to doing mine yet, but I will. We'll get there. Oh, have a look in your pencil box, Bernadette. You might find a ruler that's the same as mine. Woohoo! Okay. Yeah. Oh, somebody did ask when I'm next on Create and Craft. I'm going back on the 1st of January. So we're following all the rules and regulations. They've changed them slightly because obviously in line with the government guidelines. So I will be wearing a mask at all times unless I'm on air, because that would be a little bit weird. You wouldn't be able to sort of, So any of the areas, anything else, we're wearing masks as well as keeping our distance. So absolutely. All being well, I'll be there on the 1st. Alright. So you can see here, look how it's sort of forming now. And I'm just working it around each shape as we go. And then along we go, working it round. Oh, sorry we missed the pencil boxes. There weren't as many as I would have liked. But it's a very tricky one, because when you take something to the channel, you've got to take a certain number, but it's then, if it's something you don't like, then they sat on my shelves, and we don't want that. We usually make enough to order, see, so it's a tricky one, because obviously with the pencil boxes I had to buy those in, and then everything on the inside, so it's always a risk. Barbara, if we want to, I can get some more in, but obviously it'll be in the new year now. We can do that. Alright, so I've turned my tile, and I'm now just completing the sort of pattern. I'm just going back in and adding in those lines. Oh, Maureen, I know you never know, do you? It's, some people like certain things, and suit all people, because we've got different age groups, different genders, different countries even. It's that kind of thing, so I do my best. But at the end of it, I sit down, and then the first thought is, what do I want to tangle with, and what do I love? It's what do I use? So I design and plan from the heart. It's not just about what can I sell. It's about what do I want to use, and that's where it all stems from. If I wouldn't use it, I wouldn't create it. I'll never change that. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I will bring more pencil cases back then, I promise. I can sort that. There we are. Okay, see, there's something really nice, isn't there, about just following a curve. You just take your time with it. There's no rush. I'm just working it from one to the next. Alright, just this one to do now. Okay. And there's one. So it's this when you go from curves and suddenly it's like, oh, we've got a straight edge in here. Feels a bit weird, so I don't think it's got to be straight. If you're not sure, you could use your straight edge, but do a wobbly if you need to, it's fine. Alright, let's have a look at this. Oh, okay. I'm liking that. I think that's really nice. So, okay, what we're going to do with it. I'm going to stick within these patterns or these sort of shapes to start with. And I'm going to, again, it's that sort of consolidation. Big word, I know. And it's a pattern we've used before a few times. And it just sort of works. So I'm just going to create a line. So it's going to sort of go off one edge. Don't think it's got to be straight. And it's gone through those sort of lovely little shapes. And let's just add in an aura to that. So I'm just drawing, let's say around or at the side of. There we go. So it's almost following that same pattern. Let's turn it around a little bit. Let's choose another one. Okay, I'm going to go from this one now. So underneath. You see, underneath. Now you've got to really focus on this because you've got to make sure that you're only drawing this line within those shapes. See? Okay, let's do another. Same one there. There we go. See, and every time it goes under, it comes again up against another line I've already drawn. Then you're going to go underneath it like that. Okay. Let's do one through here. So it's going to go through there, following that one to that one. I'll just catch a bit at the end there. And then same again, just repeating that sort of shape. Remember, I'm only in those little lines that we've created there. It does, yeah, so you really got to focus on this one as to where you're actually going to put these lines. But that's the whole point. We want to sort of lose ourselves a little bit and forget what's going on around us and just get involved in, you know, creating this. See, that's starting to sort of curve. It's going to come under here. There we go. And the same, one at a time, so a bit of focus. There we go. And I'm going to pick one. I'm going to do one from this side. Now, of course, you can put as many or as few of these in as you would like. You know, if you only want a few, that's fine. So that's going to go in there. But it's quite fun because you're now visualising what's going on underneath this pattern. Because before it was flat, it was two-dimensional. Whereas now it's sort of taking on this little bit of an edge where it's not flat anymore because we're going underneath. So we're starting to create dimension before it's even, you know, before we've even added any shading. Well, it's all suggesting that everything's going underneath. There we go. So I'm going to have a little bit of one there maybe. Okay, see, I've got some here that haven't got anything in at the minute, so let's put this one in. Hi Bridget, Carol, Sabrina, hi. Oh, it's lovely. People are joining. Thank you ever so much for supporting me with this. You know, when I get one of these ideas, it'd ever be in my bonnet about something. I thought, do you know what? It'd be great to do 100 tiles. And we're well on the way now, yeah. We're on the home run. Just 5 more after this one. Can you believe it? Okay. Let's have one going down here. You see, I'm not really planning where it's going. I just start on a point and let it sort of do its thing. See, I'm looking here, I've got not much in this row, so okay, let's do it from this here. Is it that's going to come through and into that one? There we go, to that one. And then let's put one in here. So that's going to come round and into those. Now if you haven't got a bit in every one, you don't have to. But I'm wanting just to fill it up a little bit. I mean, you can go all day with these, couldn't you, really? They are fabulous. I'll put one in there. Remember, don't lose focus with this. You haven't got time to go and get a cup of tea with this one. Okay. See, looking here, I've got... Yeah. Oh, thanks, Chris. Do you know, I think we forget a little bit, don't we? It's Christmas. So, yeah. I think because you've not perhaps been, around the shops, or, you don't sort of take in the atmosphere as much, do you? So it's all about, making it for yourself, really. Well, that's fine. We're all there. Okay, see, I think I'm just going to add another one in here. There we are. Just making sure I've got those lines covered. Okay. Whew. See, it's starting to look a little bit different, isn't it? So I'm just putting my pen down. I'm coming in now with my brush pen. I mean, if you haven't got one of these, you could use the Micron to colour in. It just might take a little bit longer. And of course you can use a thicker pen as well. The only thing I would say is, because I'm going to use watercolour pencils with this, if you're going to do the same, whatever pen you use, just make sure that it's not going to be affected by the water eventually. Okay, so you can see here, I'm actually now coming in and filling in any of the gaps around those lines I've created. So that's why the brush pen, it's a little bit quicker at doing this kind of thing. So let's do this one here. And of course, if you've got this and you think, oh, do you know, I could do with another one in there, another line, just put one in before you go. Or if you feel that you need to neaten up a little bit, now is the time to do it with this one. You can see I'm just going to add a little bit of a line in there, just so I split those two up. There we go. And same here. So I swear, see that brush just sort of glides along, doesn't it? It's doing a good job. I did actually invest in a new brush pen because the one I was using went a little bit tatty around the edges. I've been using it for quite a while. So this one's a relatively new one. You see that it's got a really nice fine point on it. They work quite nicely, I do, and I like the fact that they're black. I know sometimes you get a pen and it's not as black as you'd like. I know that sounds really crazy, but you'll know what I mean, I'm sure. If you're gonna use a black pen, use a black pen. Oh, have you really? Yeah. They're nice little things, these. Take a little bit of getting used to if you've not used one before, I think, because the nib's very sort of flexible, should we say. So it's just one of them things. Just give it a try first before you get carried away with it. Just take your time and you'll be fine with it. Okay? Alright, so just sort of enjoy the moment. We don't, use black to colour a lot of things, but what we're actually doing now is, again, we're just creating a little bit of depth going forward. Each step takes it that little bit more detailed and adds a little bit of texture, almost like telling a story. There we are. Just enjoy filling that in. And of course, you don't have to use black. You can use a different colour if you want to. You do whatever you want to do. But it needs something. We don't want to just shade this. Okay, systematically work your way around. and you can hopefully see that it's starting to take on a little bit of a life of its own, just by adding that level in, that little bit of darkness. That's sort of the drama in the piece, isn't it? Of course, if you're using a black tile to start with, then you'll be using a white pen, so everything's sort of a little bit topsy-turvy. Oh, you're welcome, Jenny. It was lovely having so many people having the confidence, you know, to send me your tiles to put in the book, so it was lovely. Thank you. You know, you deserve it. That the gallery is yours. You know, it's just a celebration of everything we've been able to do this year. I know we've been, you know, there's been some bad bits, but you've got to look at the positives. Okay, so just filling those gaps in. There we are. See that again? No rush to do this, and of course we could have done this at the end, but I just didn't want you to lose sight of where it's going. And I think if we do this section now, you'll be able to see the other pieces a little bit clearer than getting a little bit complicated adding more tangles over the top of this. So there we go. See, this is why I wanted quite a few of those lines in, because otherwise we'd end up with a lot of seriously just blank sections. There we go. So, you know, these hours have been really enjoyable, haven't they? And we've been able to, you know, mix and speak with people we might never have met. That's quite something, isn't it? You know, you might never have met somebody that you talk to now quite a lot, and just giving us that extra little bit of support along the way as well. And I think we've probably made friends this year on this, you know, on this platform, in this group, that you're going to have and you're going to know for many years to come. Oh, it's not just being... yeah, Carol, of course you could. You could do it in a colour if you want to. I'm going to add the colour later with my shading. But yeah, of course you can. You can use a different colour here. It's, you know, I like to have that bit of black in there. See, just do my way around. I just think, you know, I wonder what we'll be doing this time next Christmas. You know, will we still be doing this? Well, hopefully we'll all be back to, you know, having friends and family over, and it'll be a Christmas certainly to remember, won't it? Sure. But there's lots of ways. At least we've got social media where we can speak with people. It's not like we, you know, we don't. No, yeah, it's nice. I think everybody's been supportive of everybody, you know. It's nice when you put a tile on the page and say, look what I've done today, you know, people message back and go, just, you know, it's brill. We've all been there for each other. It's important, isn't it? Alright. So this is starting to look pretty cool. I'm liking this. I say grids aren't always my go-to, I know, but oh, Julie, I know it's lovely, isn't it? It's, plus, you know, we're all doing this and we're tangling together, but the journals you must have now, or the sketch pads, or whatever you're putting your tiles in, they must be fabulous, you know. And it's just something you can look through, and each one must tell a story. You know, you can say, I remember doing that one, it was cold and bleak, or that one we did it and it was really sunshiny. You know, maybe we were talking about ice cream or Prosecco, or most of the time it's tea and coffee and Julie's cookies, isn't it? But yeah, it's certainly been a journey to come through, really has. There we are. Just finishing a few bits off here now. This bit's taken up a bit of the time, but you know, wait till you see it in the full, so to speak. It's well worth taking the time to do this. There we go. Almost. A little bit more. Oh, I know, Sue. Yeah, you know, you think back, March seems such a long time ago now, doesn't it? You think this time last year we didn't even know the word lockdown, did we? Whew, okay, let's have a look at that. There we are. See, look, that's just, look at it. It's fabulous. Oh, okay, so I'm going to come back to my black pen, not my brush anymore, my black pen. And let's have a look at these spaces we've got. Okay, so it's entirely up to you here. You can put one in the centre, or you can go slightly off centre if you like. Just going to, there we go. So I think for a change, I'm going to go just slightly off centre. There we go. Put a little bubble in. And then let's repeat that going down. So it's almost like this is our grid now. Let's have a look at that. I know the changes it goes through. When you think this started as a square grid, that yeah, we used a straight edge today to do that with. But it's not anymore, is it? Yeah. So I'm putting that similar sort of bubble in a similar place on all of those. There we are. And just filling that in. There we go. I've just seen there, look, I'm just going to neaten that edge up a little bit. There we go. Maybe that one. Okay, see, sometimes you think, I'm just going to go in and neaten bits as I'm going. Okay. Oh, Julie, book 4 in one hand and a cookie in the other, I bet. Yes. All right, so working on this one then. I'm going to sort of go round my bubble and I'm going to take it in to the corner. And then same, around and into the corner. And around and into the corner. And again, around and into the corner. You see, because I've used a slightly off shape and I've not done it from the middle, you're going to get a slightly different shape than you perhaps would normally. You see? So I'm just following those curves around the bubble and into the corners. And around the bubble and into the corners. Okay? And just nice and gentle. And again, this is all about those curves. So you've not got to think straight edges and straight lines. It's just letting it take off and land wherever it's going to. You just aim for the corners. And of course you can put any pattern in with this, any you like. And I'm going to put a few different ones in, I think, just to sort of keep it a little bit different today. There we go. And then around and down. So I'm following that same sort of muscle memory all the way along, just creating those lovely curves. I'm not trying to make them the same, not trying to repeat anything. They're just working their way around. Okay. And along. I don't know if anybody picked up on a message I put on, was it last week now? I had a lovely hamper delivered to my house and looked on the card, so I thought, oh, this is lovely, who do I thank? And there's absolutely no information whatsoever as to who this hamper's come from. Now, I have no idea, and it could be who it could be really. But the fact that, it's come to my house, I don't know. So if there is anybody listening out there and You sent it. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. But I've even contacted the company and I said, look, you know, I know you can't give details out, but could you pass on my thanks to whoever sent it? And I hope they will, but I don't know. So it was a lovely little hamper, really, really nice. But, John had a few of the crisps out of it last night, I think, and he said they were lovely. Okay, there we go. So, what to do with these? All right, so first thing then, I'm just going to pull in a little bit. Let's work on one at a time so you can see what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to choose one of the sections, and it doesn't matter which one. And I'm just going to fill it with bubbles. I'm going to choose that one there. Just fill it with bubbles. See, all different sizes, different shapes. And then I'm just going to ink around anything that's left. Okay. So let's move it on. And I'm going to use the same section. Although if you want to, you can swap it. But I'm going to keep that consistency. And I'm going to work on the same shape each time. Okay. Just filling it in with ink as I go. Okay. So if I repeat that on all, see, I might actually do all the bubbles and then come back and fill in afterwards. There we go. Okay, so here we are into different sizes and just working it round. Do you know, actually I had a delivery from Hermes the other day, and it was some hunky-dory paper that I'd ordered from Create and Craft. Some of them, you know, it's nice to have nice papers, isn't it? And I'm not kidding you. I looked, it was, you know, on the doormat as you do, and the padded envelope it was in looked like it had been attacked by a rabid dog. It was absolutely 100% shredded. I mean, I don't know whether the person had, you know, tried to force it through the door so much. I mean, one of the pads, it was on the doormat, literally with no bag. It was out the bag. The bag was a little bit soggy as well, so I suppose that didn't help. And yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. It was all you could see all the bubble wrap, you could, you know, and part of it was out, part of it was in. Some of it had been screwed up as though they'd tried to seriously, you know, ram it through the letterbox. I mean, I'm laughing and it's crazy. And you think, how could somebody do that? But I suppose they thought it was better to do that than to leave it outside, maybe. I have no idea. But luckily, all the contents were fine. Now I know, just like myself, really, you know, you use the best packaging you possibly can. But once the courier gets hold of it, that's it. We have no control over what happens to it. You know, it worries me to death. So I know I actually I helped load the parcels onto the van that arrived the other day, and they were all in either in boxes or bags, just so we could protect it as best we could. But yeah, it's certainly a bit crazy out there. There we are. Okay, so just filling that with bubbles. We can see there. All right. Oh, Sue. I know, it's what do you do for the best, you know? And then, of course, we've got the environment to think about. So if we start putting everything in plastic bags, and then, oh, it's just going to get silly. I must admit, you know, recycled packaging and things like that is so much more expensive as well. Because, of course, you know, I'm not just a supplier, but I'm a dispatcher as well. So I'm the one that buys the packaging and things in. So it's crazy. Oh, Sheila. I have received something before now, and it was just the package, and everything else was I mean, I'm laughing crazy. It's just hysterical laughing. Everything was missing out the parcel. It's quite clear, you know, you wouldn't send out a parcel with nothing in it. It's, it just, don't know what had happened to it. But never mind. Never mind. All that doesn't matter now. It's just focusing on bubbles and filling it in with that little bit of ink. Oh, Fiona, I'm glad that it was fully intact. It was great. And not shredded by a rabid dog. No. And I don't mean Benji. He can't get to the post. There's a door between the door and him, so yeah. It's funny. I don't know. There we go. So just, you know, I'm going back now. I'm just filling in those little gaps. Okay, just as it's going around. Alright. Who'd have thought a grid could be so intense, eh? Oh, Vivian, they are. I mean, I do have a nice Hermes person, so I don't know what we're going on with it this particular day. I'm sure their heart's in the right place, and you know, and they do, you know, their thinking and the way that they work is different to maybe what we think. Okay, I'm just going to come in now and just fill this one in with lines. And again, that's something we've done before. And it's great to have that little bit of texture. There we go. So I'm just working systematically from one to the next. Just with those little lines. God, that was a funny point, wasn't it? And I can't remember who it was now, back in the summer. Felt like the summer anyway. When somebody wrote the word Hermes, but it didn't come out as Hermes. That was hilarious. I think actually I've mentioned that in the, you know, the about bit in the front of the book on book 4. I think I've spoke about that, so it'll be forever in print. Oh, it was funny. Alright. Of course, with these lines, you can do this on any of those sections. I've just sort of taken the next one as it comes, but you can pick whichever one you like. It really doesn't matter. Of course, depending on how you do it, as you know, you might get a slightly different outlook. Fill those bits in there. There we go. Just working my way around that section. So it's looking quite complex now, isn't it? And if you remember, we sort of started life as a basic grid. It's not looking like a grid anymore. There we go. Take those bits. A couple more to do. Marks there, so I'm just following that line around and that one. Alright, let's have a quick look at that. Okay, look how different that is. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely. Alright, I'm just going to put one quick pattern in one of the others, nothing too major. I'm just going to bring around a couple of little lines. Little lines. You see? Oh, thank you, Sue. That's nice to know, because I don't write. I like to draw, but I wouldn't say I'm a writer. You know, it's yeah. Okay, so I'm just going around and adding those in. I just hope I've got everybody's name right in the gallery. I do work at that and make sure I've got the right ones with the right ones. Okay. There we go. So I'm not going to do anything on that one there. I'm going to leave that because it's nice sometimes to leave bits. So let's bring in a little bit of colour. So I've got a bit of purple and a bit of blue. let's have a look. Let's use a slightly darker colours. Okay, so your choice here, you could go and you could colour things in various different ways. I think the way I'm going to go about it is I'm going to add a little bit of blue, a darker blue, see, to that side. And again, this, if you're just going to use a regular pencil, this is exactly the same as what you would do with your regular pencil. And then, of course, you'd soften it with your tortillon. But for now, I'm going to just work with these, and then I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. So just as you would use your tortillon with the pencil to soften it, or with your pastels, I'm going to use water. So there we go. So there's no serious colouring in as such. It's just get some pencil on there. Okay. So let's bring in a lighter blue, and I'm going to just add some to this side. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? There we go. Just to that edge there. So I'm doing the same on each one. And of course, you know, you could have, if you're going to use your pens, I'll tell you what would look really nice. You know, you put your pens on a glass mat and use a spritzer. So you've got sort of a palette on your mat, and then put your tile directly into it. That would be a totally random sort of type of pattern, wouldn't it? That would look pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to bring my purple in, and I'm going to add some purple just sort of to this edge. I'm going to go over the whole thing, just for a little bit of a difference there. See? This is not necessarily, you know, seriously planned as to how it's going to work out, but just adding a little bit of colour, it just makes a difference. Of course, you know, use whatever colours you like, mix and match them. Of course, you could always come back in and add a little bit more afterwards. Okay, so I've got sort of a few colours going on there. So okay, let's bring in my water. Again, don't overdo it with the water. Let's have a look at a large version. Here we go. So I'm just going to pull out and just pull that down a little bit. So I'm not trying to cover the whole area. I'm just doing a little bit, and I'm going to work with the same colour to start with. You see how I've left that little bit of light? Let's do another. I'll probably get another one out of this water. There we go. So I'm working my way along it, pulling it down a little bit. And then again, look, along and down a little bit. They are watercolours, Barbara, yes. So I'm just going in with the water and then just pulling it down. But I'm leaving that edge. See? Oh, that's lovely, Annie. Thank you. I'm glad you found me. It's, yeah, we're a crazy bunch of people here, but you know, that's what makes it fun. Completely from different places. Well, it's just nice to see, isn't it? So yeah, I'm glad. It's nice that you've joined. Of course, you know, you could start at the beginning, but you don't have to. There are now, why, goodness me, 95 tiles. So you see there, the same thing, I'm just working on there. I'm just pulling it out a little bit. There's enough water on there just to sort of do this little bit. There we go. So now I'm going to just wash my brush a little bit, clean it off just a tad, and then I'm going to come in and do a similar thing with this light blue. You see, there's not really much space to do it, but we're just going to edge it up a little bit. There we go. You see, it's just doing a little, I'm just pulling it out, but I'm not trying to fill the whole space. I'm just softening the edge. It's almost like I'm using the water like that tortillon and just, you know, softening the edge. Because there's sort of small spaces, it's not too much. And of course, if you think it's not quite right, it doesn't matter, spritz the whole lot. Because as we know, the pen I'm using, if you're using the Sakura, it's going to stay put. So that's not going to have any impact at all. So here now, look, I'm going to go across the whole sort of thing there. So I'm just working there and just pulling it down a little bit. Well, same again. And this is where it's going to change the shape a little bit, because I've gone across two, or sort of I've gone across the outer edge rather than work from the middle. And it's just going to change the dynamics and the shape a little bit. There we are. Clean my water again. Oh, interesting, Catherine. It's lovely. It's great when, you know, you're all sharing different ideas. I mean, there's lots of tanglers out there, you know, and there's a few teachers that, you know, all teach in their own way. We've all got our own styles and our own way of doing it. So it's nice that you've followed. And I'm sure you look at others as well. So, you know, mix and match and use what you're seeing from other people to do this. Oh, thank you, Chris. It's totally different. I mean, the last couple we've done have been quite organic, haven't they? I just thought I'd throw in a grid there, because I know there's quite a few of you out there that like the grids as well. All right, let's have a look at it. Okay, see, look at the difference there. All right, now because I've not put much water on that should, and it is, quite dry. So just to sort of finish off, I know, I'm going to just come back in with my pen, and I'm just going to pick on, let's pick on one side. I'm going to go on the side where I've put that purple, and I'm just going to come back in and redefine that line there, you see? Just redefine the line. Okay, again, it's just about that depth and just adding that little bit in. Of course, make sure that if you use watercolour, it's dry before you do this. Otherwise, it will have, your pen won't like it. Alright. In there. Like that one. Just doesn't matter if you're not quite on the lines, just sort of bring that line back in so it takes that colour slightly back. Okay, so we're almost done. One more thing, I think. Can you see the grid now? It's not there, is it? Oh, all right, just back in with my pencil, and on occasion we've gone around the outside, but this time I'm going to come on in the inside of that line, and I'm going to be quite sort of dramatic with it. I'm really pushing pencil on at the minute. There we go. Okay, straight in there. And the same along that edge and along that edge. Okay, tortillon. Again, I'm just going to come around. I'm just going to swirl it because I'm not wanting to bring it completely in. It's just working it so it's softening that edge a little bit. So we're containing it within the border today. Alright, same in this one. Just working my way around in a little swirl. Almost there. And into that one. See, straight over the black, the white, whatever colour's there. There we go, just finish it off. Okay. And that one. So, last thing to do, bit of a signature. So, here we go. There we go. Whew. So, when we first started with just a regular grid, we thought, okay, it's pretty cool. There we go, job done. And I do have one that I've done just with the grayscale, the black and white. If I just pull that down a bit so you can see the difference. So there we go. There's your coloured version And there's your sort of grayscale version. So whichever way you want to go with it, whether you want to add a bit of colour, whether you want to add just your pencil, entirely up to you. So yeah, as before, have fun with this one. Try a few different patterns in there. See how you go with it, and you know, play with it a little bit. So with this in mind then, it's a case of just wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope you stay safe and healthy, warm. Don't get too drunk. Enjoy your Christmas lunch. And all being well, we'll be back on the 27th for tile number 96. I'm going to keep it at the same time. If you can make it, that would be great, and it'd be lovely to see you all again. If not, please don't worry about it. It'll still be there. Come back to it in your own time. So I hope you have a lovely time. I know it's going to be different this year, but you know what? Think of the positives, stick with it, and next year we're gonna have the best Christmas ever. But this year, just let's go with whatever we can, and just be thankful that, you know, we're here and we've got something that we can, you know, we can all work to. We're all out there, so you're not alone. So have a good one, and I will see you back here on the 27th. So yeah, have a wonderful one, and I'll see you all soon. You take care then. Merry Christmas. Bye.